Riding the high of the longest active win streak in the NBA, the Raptors made a win-now type of trade at the deadline, but had to sacrifice that first-round pick in order to make it. So in today's video, we want to discuss why the Raptors probably should not have traded Goran Dragic. Let's get into it. Welcome NBA Raptors fans to Amateur Hour Sports, your source for dedicated Raptors content at least 4 times a week, even again while I am on vacation, currently still in Linate, just outside of Milan in Italy. I'm going to be home back making videos probably for the 15th or 16th. So excited to get back into the studio and do those videos. But for now, getting the videos done on vacation. So make sure you're supporting the video. I'm working my hardest to bring this video. Make sure to sub to the channel if you are new and you enjoy the video. And don't be afraid to drop a like if you enjoy this specific one to help us reach some new viewers. But today, our topic again is that trade, because that was a huge trade for the Raptors to make, and this team just keeps on winning. The Raptors have won 8 games in a row, and they're the hottest team in the league. They have moved into the top 10 in the NBA power rankings. They are currently 6th in the Eastern Conference, 4 games back of that top spot. It's a very tight Eastern Conference, and we have been rolling. So many players playing exceptionally well. Gary Trent really starting to make a push maybe for an MIP award. Pascal Siakam really starting to make a push for maybe an All-NBA selection. This team is on fire, but we have to understand maybe a bigger picture. As much as I'm loving this, we understand the bigger picture, that the aspirations are for a championship, but the management have made a big trade at the deadline. We're going to revisit it a little bit now that we've had a couple of days to kind of let it simmer. The Raptors, of course, traded Goran Dragic and a protected 2022 first-round pick. Lottie protected this year, 1 through 13 next year, in exchange for Thaddues Young, Drew Eubanks, and a 2022 second via the Detroit Pistons. We have waived Eubanks, so not really part of the trade anymore. We basically made that big trade to move down about 10 to 15 spots in the draft and pick up Thaddues Young. The Raptors right now are winning games, and the management must see something here. They must see something special with this current team. You know, I talked about it a lot in the previous video, but they must see something really good for this team to make that sort of trade. First round picks for the Raptors are our greatest asset. It is absolute gold for this franchise to have those first round picks. But we move down a little bit, or a considerable amount in the draft. We'll have about the 31, maybe 32 or 33 pick in the second round, which we can still get a good player, no doubt. We can still get a good player, no doubt, but a lot harder to strike gold in the draft when you move down that 10 to 15 position. So I'm looking at this team. As much as I'm loving watching this team, and as much as Thaddues Young definitely makes this team better, there's no doubt Thaddues Young coming into this team makes us better. He's a nice veteran presence that maybe this team doesn't have yet. I think that his stats for this season, only averaging about 6 points per game, I think his stats don't do him justice because he wasn't really getting a lot of play time with the Spurs. I think the Raptors can give him a lot more play time because their bench is obviously struggling right now. Well, starting to get a little bit better. Boucher's been more consistent, but not getting enough output from our bench to help out the starting lineup for this team. So Thaddues Young is a player that can come in and can definitely do a job for this team. I've been thinking all season about Thaddues Young. Never really dialed in on thinking on that one was going to be a great fit for this team, but always in my mind, and I think for a lot of Raptors fans, we always had Thaddues Young in our mind as a player who could come in and immediately help out this team. But was it worth trading away the first round pick in order to make it happen? I personally don't really think so. And for that reason, I don't think the Raptors should have traded Goran Dragic in this situation. You know, I've sat on it for a couple of days, and, you know, again, I am going to reiterate, it is going to be awesome watching this team, and it's going to be even better watching this team because of Thaddues Young joining the team. But beyond this season, thinking about Thaddues Young's going to be gone. Obviously, it's a great thing due to his contract, but not having that pick, I could have lived with this team doing what they're doing right now and having Goran Dragic sit in Miami doing nothing. I could have lived with that. I could have absolutely just dealt with it. Okay, the reality is we made that Kyle Lowry trade to get Precious Achiuwa. Unfortunately, we had to take on that Goran Dragic contract in order to make it happen. I could have eaten that for the rest of the season, but I did not want having to trade Kyle Lowry in a sign and trade to get Precious Achiuwa. I did not want Precious Achiuwa, getting Precious Achiuwa, have to cost us a first-round pick in order to move on from Goran Dragic. I would have absolutely made that trade 100%. Getting Kyle Lowry to a sign and trade rather than just leaving free agency, that was a dub for the franchise, 100%. But having to give away a first-round pick in order to get some bench help is not what I wanted at all. In fact, I didn't even want the Raptors to give away a first-round pick if it meant getting you starter help. I didn't want the Raptors to trade away that first-round pick in order to get Miles Turner, let alone just Thaddeus Young, who, again, I think is going to help out this team. But like I said in the previous video, a versatile power forward. He can play lots of positions on defense, and he can also help us out offensively. He reminds me of Chris Boucher and Precious Achiuwa, who already play for the team. What it did for the team, it saved us some money. Thaddeus Young makes a considerable amount less than Goran Dragic, especially after waiving Eubanks. We saved even more money in that situation. We're going to go into the draft where we draft a player in the second round instead of the first. Therefore, we owe them a smaller amount of salary. So there's a lot of factors going on here that the Raptors may have been considering, but personally, looking at this trade again, I've had a couple of days to kind of settle down on this, and I still don't really like it. I'm going to enjoy it for the rest of this season, no doubt, because the team just got better. The team that has won 8 games in a row, 6 in the Eastern Conference, 4 games out of first place, that team has just gotten even better. And if they can maintain this pace, they can maintain some consistency, then they are going to be a very fun team to watch and a decently competitive team in the playoffs. But I don't think this trade really puts us over the top. Typically, when you trade first-round picks at the deadline, it is for the teams that are in win-now situations. They need that extra piece to get themselves over the line, or it is a team that just desperately needs to salary dump a player on a long-term contract. We were in neither of those situations, I don't believe. I don't believe that this is the missing piece that we need to really contend for an NBA championship. That's just not really how I feel. And if you disagree, I'm sorry. That's really how I feel about this current Raptors team, as much as I think they're great, as much as I love them. And Goran Dragic was an expiring contract at the end of the season. There wasn't a real emergency in order to trade this player. So looking at it like that, hopefully you see my point of view in this situation. I think it's a really exciting time to be a Raptors fan, given the team's success. They have definitely blown away my expectations. This 8-game win streak hopefully doesn't fool us into thinking they're better than they are. I don't think it is, because they've been beating some good teams here. They've been beating down some bad teams, but they've been beating some good teams here. And they have Siakam probably at his best. I think this is the best we have ever seen from Pascal Siakam. We have Gary Trent at his absolute best. Scotty Barnes is way ahead of schedule. Fred VanVleet is an all-star, and OG Anunoby is a lovely player to round that off with the 3-and-D that he brings to the team. So awesome team, going to be so much fun, but I do fear what the future holds, knowing that we traded away that first round pick, and I hope it is not one that we come to regret. But I'm going to reiterate my stance that I believe in Masai. I trust Masai Ujiri to make the right basketball decisions. If he feels like it is necessary to go for it this season, with that extra little help from Thaddeus Young, then so be it. And looking back at Masai Ujiri's track record in terms of trades, he doesn't miss. He has yet to lose a trade as far as I am concerned, unless you're counting sign and trades, which, it's a debatable situation when it comes to Kyle Lowry, but it's a sign and trade. So we're not really going to count that. Every other trade, Masai Ujiri has either won or he has not taken a loss in the trade. So for that reason, I am maintaining my confidence in the front office. I have never diverted away from that stance. I have always maintained the stance that I believe in this front office, though sometimes I think they make mistakes, though sometimes I think they make the wrong decisions. I think in the end, in the long term, I understand where they're coming from, and I understand why they made the decision that they did. So hopefully in the future, I come around on this one. Hopefully in the future, if you're not liking this trade, you come around on this one as well. But personally, to end off the video, I would say I do not think the Raptors should have traded Goran Dragic. Obviously, I would have liked to have him traded, but in this specific trade, I don't think it was necessary. I would have rather saved that first round pick and just kept on to Goran Dragic, and it is what it is with the salary. It is what it is. Expires in the season. Keep your pick. Get your depth in the draft. So after a couple days to sit on this trade, have your opinion changed on it? Did you like it before? You do not like it now? Did you not like it originally, but you do like it now? Do you see the greater picture? Do you just believe in the front office? I want to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below, because that is it for me for today. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you made it to the end of the video, then that definitely deserves a like. Make sure to give it a thumbs up on the video. And if it is your first time here with me today, then make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you're enjoying these videos while I'm on vacation, then you're going to enjoy the ones where I'm back from vacation even more so. I'm gonna be back from vacation in just a few days, getting back to the regular style of content, as well as my live streams, which I desperately miss, but the Wi-Fi is just not good enough in a lot of these Airbnbs for me to actually do the stream. So thank you for understanding. I'll see you again next time for another video.